is the WrestleBread Podcast, bringing you the latest news, recaps, and analysis of AEW and WWE. Get the unique perspective from a wrestling fan of over 25 years. Here's your host, Jaydee.
What's up, guys? This is Jaydee here, and this is episode 37 of the WrestleBread Podcast. So we have the Worlds Collide coming out tonight, and we have the Royal Rumble coming out tomorrow on Sunday. I didn't get a chance really to watch Friday Night SmackDown yet. I kind of read a few things about it, that there was a contract signing between Bray Wyatt or The Fiend and the Daniel Bryan, but I didn't get a chance to check it out yet, which I plan to do later on today, Saturday. So let me get into some of the matches that's coming out. You can't even tell that there is a Big Four pay-per-view coming up this weekend because WWE really isn't treating it like it's a big pay-per-view weekend. I'm planning to sit in front of my TV with a nice cheesesteak, probably some fries, and something to drink. But, however else you would like to celebrate, let's celebrate it like it's one of the Big Four. But I'm going to start off with my predictions for the Worlds Collide. So starting out, we have the pre-show match of Mia Yim versus Kaylee Ray. I'm going to go with Kaylee Ray on this one. She still is the NXT UK Women's Champion, so I feel as though they're going to show that title a bit of respect and have her win this match. I definitely know that Mia Yim is still going to put up a good fight. Maybe this Worlds Collide pay-per-view may set up another feud for Mia Yim. Maybe someone will come in and cause a distraction, or maybe cause Mia Yim to lose, and that will start up a feud with her. The women's, like I always say, the women's division with NXT is one of the best in the wrestling business. So I know that even though this match is on the pre-show, it's still going to be a good match. Next up, we have the NXT Cruiserweight Championship Fatal 4-Way match with Angel Garza versus Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jordan Devlin versus Travis Banks. I feel like this is another one where the champion is going to win still. I say that Angel Garza is still going to retain. I don't really see the title really changing hands, cause now Garza is going through this like kind of face type a bit turn. He's not as, I could be wrong, but he's not as heelish as he was when he first started out. This would be a good opportunity to put the belt on Isaiah Swerve Scott, but I feel like they should save this for the next NXT takeover, which I actually think is in a few weeks after the Royal Rumble. But I think it's better to put the title on Isaiah Swerve Scott at that takeover where it's more of a bigger stage. Not saying that Worlds Collide isn't a big stage anyway, but a lot of these, about half of these matches are not storyline based, really. This is pretty much NXT versus NXT UK. So I feel like after Worlds Collide, they're going to really do an actual feud with Isaiah Swerve Scott really trying to go after the title. I also think this would be a good showing too between all four men. Angel Garza, Isaiah Swerve Scott are very good in the ring. Jordan Devlin, I remember seeing a few times on NXT UK when I try to catch NXT UK from time to time, and I remember seeing Jordan Devlin. I even remember seeing Jordan Devlin. I think I did catch one of the NXT UK's pay-per-view events, and I think Jordan Devlin was going to get someone. I forgot who it was. It might have been Tyler Bates, I think. And then Travis Banks, the name doesn't really ring a bell, but I'm very sure that all four of these men is going to put up a good match. Next up, we have, I think it's Ilja Dragunov versus Finn Balor. Now, I know who the Dragunov guy is. He is the guy with the weird looking eyes, very Kane-like eyes. This looks like this would have been possibly a good opportunity for the future to have him versus the Demon, Finn Balor. But I'll take this as, what it is now. I feel like, of course, Finn Balor puts on a good match anyway, with whoever he's going up against. There really hasn't been that many badly done Finn Balor matches. There has been bad feuds that they put Finn Balor in, but as far as match-wise, he's always been solid. So I think this match will also be good as well. After that, we have the reunion of DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bates and Trent Seven. I love DIY first off. I think this is going to get the crowd so hyped up because these two men have put on such a beautiful and great storyline of how, they're friends, each other was each other's best man in their weddings. They came together as a tag team. They were basically underdogs and they fought so hard to get the titles, and then they lose the titles, and Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano, and it was that feud with Johnny Gargano being such an underdog. And then Johnny Gargano then turned heel, and then Tommaso Ciampa had gotten injured and then returned. It was just such a nice and very detailed and long thought out type of feud that these two had. So I know that this will be a good match between these two tag teams. After that, we have the NXT Championship match. Now, I just found out that they're changing the name of the NXT Women's Championship to just NXT Championship. So I don't know what it seems like they're also going to call the Men's Championship NXT Champion. So if we just say the word NXT Champion, who are we talking about? Like, I'm all for, trying to be equal or something like that. But there's a reason why we say the NXT Women's Championship. That way we're not getting, it's just saying NXT Championship and then NXT Championship. So, I don't know. But that's their decision. It's not my company. So, but I'm interested to see how they're going to do all this as far as giving the difference between the two titles. But we have Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm. Now, this is an interesting match because Toni Storm has beaten Rhea Ripley, I believe, twice before. Toni Storm did defeat Rhea Ripley in NXT UK to become the first ever NXT UK Women's Championship. So I wonder if maybe it's a possibility that Toni Storm could win this title as well. But Rhea Ripley just won this title on a very big night. They had all the fans come into the ring. So I really doubt that Rhea Ripley is going to lose this title. This is going to be another good match. They're going to have a lot of close near falls, especially giving the tease that Toni Storm could win. But ultimately, I think that Rhea Ripley is going to retain her title here. This could turn into a longer feud between Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm. It may be possible that Toni Storm could come over to the US and actually compete in NXT permanently versus going back to NXT UK. Toni Storm already had held the NXT UK Championship, and I feel like, not that there's not enough women in NXT, but I feel like Toni Storm has a lot more to offer in NXT US versus NXT UK. But Rhea Ripley is going to retain her championship tonight. Next, I believe would be the main event, is the 8-man tag team match, the Undisputed Era, with NXT champion Adam Cole, NXT tag team champions Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, and the former North American champion Roderick Strong. Shout out to Keith Lee to winning the North American Championship this past Wednesday. I really didn't expect them to put the title on him in that fashion, but it was a really good match. Keith Lee definitely deserves the title. But I was very shocked that they went with him putting the belt on him on a regular episode of NXT, especially before the Royal Rumble and before the Worlds Collide. But back to this match, the Undisputed Era will be going up against the Imperium, which is NXT UK champion Walter, Alexander Wolf, Fabian Aichner, and Marcel Bethel. I probably butchered a name or two in there, but I am the butcher of names. I love to see this match. Undisputed Era, of course, very dominating. Great tag team, first off, as a foursome. And then we have the Imperium with Walter, who chops the soul out of people. The tag team of Fabian and Marcel, who are excellent too. And Alexander Wolf, who would have thought that, Alexander Wolf, who used to be Insanity, would turn around and become such a part of such a great stable in NXT UK. This is going to be a great match. This match can go either way. I can see Undisputed Era winning this match and showing that NXT it dominates. And I can also see Imperium winning to kind of put over another, stable, but also show the starting decline of the Undisputed Era. I feel like Undisputed Era shouldn't break up, but I feel like their gold streak of everyone being champions is starting to go down. But I love what this match would possibly bring. Not really the spots, but the moments between these 8 guys. But NXT always put on such a good show. So I know that Worlds Collide is going to be a great pay-per-view. So moving on to the Royal Rumble, not a lot of matches have been announced, and there are some matches that are rumored to be announced. First off, I believe that there is going to be a Intercontinental Championship match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Braun Strowman for the IC title. And if that is the case, I do see Braun Strowman winning the Intercontinental Championship. Unfortunately, I love Shinsuke Nakamura. I was happy when he won the IC title, but they really haven't done too much with him. Sami Zayn is pretty much the most entertaining part about, with Shinsuke Nakamura's recent. They really haven't given Shinsuke Nakamura really a good feud, which I feel as though, of course, his reign in Raw and SmackDown are not as good as it was in NXT, and we all knew that. But I was hoping that they would at least give him some type of meaningful feud since he is the IC title. And we really haven't gotten a lot from him these past couple of months. And I feel like he's going to lose the title here to Braun Strowman. Next up, we have Sheamus versus Chad Gable. I'm not calling him the other name. It's very weird that when soon as Sheamus comes back, he then decides to start messing with Chad Gable and giving the short jokes and everything. I guess, I don't know if we're at this point where Sheamus is starting to not really be on the decline as far as his career, but it feels like they brought him back and they had nothing for him to do. I feel like, I don't know, I think with this match, we're going to have Sheamus winning in this one. I think that they're going to continue this feud with Chad Gable and Sheamus, or this could be, because this is the start of WrestleMania, we could get a run-in or something like that where someone will come in to, interrupt this match, and we could have we can have Chad Gable win the match. But I feel like this is going to be Sheamus night. Next up, we have the United States Championship of Andrade versus Humberto Carlito. This Carlito recently returned to Raw after being out of action for a couple of weeks. And it really wasn't that big of a build after he came back. He came back literally about a week ago, and then boom, he gets a title shot. After Rey Mysterio kind of went back and forth with Andrade for the championship shots. This whole title shot situation sometimes really don't make any sense. I guess they're going to stick to the fact that he had a title shot before he left, and then they just immediately give it to him. I feel like Rey Mysterio will, jump in here to help out Humberto, and that would lead to Humberto winning the title. But I feel like it would be too short of a reign for Andrade. I feel like Andrade should keep the title just a little bit longer, at least up till WrestleMania, and then give Humberto the title. Feels like they really want to give a push to Humberto, so I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger here or if they're going to do it at WrestleMania, but within the next 4 months, Humberto is going to win that U.S. Championship. I would have loved for it to be a bigger build if they are going to pull the trigger and give the title to Humberto, but I'd love for it to be a bigger build. That way when he wins the title, we at least have a bit of a pop for him. And I'm a bit disturbed that if they do it for him now, that it won't be as meaningful, or that it won't be as much crowd support had they restarted, the building up with the feud between him and Andrade. Unfortunately, creative decided to do it now. So I'm just going to say Andrade, but I wouldn't be too upset if, my cat says hi to everyone. I wouldn't be too upset if Humberto wins this match. After that, we have Roman Reigns versus King Corbin for the Falls Count Anywhere match. I'm really done with this feud. I really am. I thought that I heard the rumors about how this could go into a dog collar match or some type of strap match or something like that. Not like, Daniel Bryan and The Fiend, but I felt like this was going to turn into some type of stipulation match that no one asked for nor wanted, especially once they pulled out the dog food onto Roman Reigns a couple of weeks ago. I feel like this feud should be done with. I liked how heelish King Corbin is, and he does play well up against Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns still gets that big pop every time he comes out. He normally is the person who gets the biggest pop of the night every week on SmackDown. And I feel like, of course, Roman Reigns is going to win this match. Now, it's very possible that Robert Roode or Dolph Ziggler could interfere in this match, and then King Corbin wins this match to continue this feud all the way up to WrestleMania. But I feel like Roman Reigns will be in. Of course, Roman Reigns is in the Royal Rumble, and I feel like Roman Reigns is possibly going to win the Royal Rumble. So I feel like this feud between him and King Corbin is going to stop here so that he can pursue his next push for the title reign. I feel that, this time for the whole push for Roman Reigns to win the title is just about right for this year. There's not as many people who dislike Roman Reigns as they did 4 or 5 years ago. I feel like, not really because of, his diagnosis, but I feel like he has worked enough and kind of like earned everyone's respect of him, working hard and everything, and not really being pushed in everyone's face, but kind of working through basically the mid card to get that grind to go up towards the top. I have Roman Reigns down to win this match, but I feel like it could easily go with King Corbin, but I'm going to officially say Roman Reigns here. After that, we have the Women's SmackDown Championship of Bayley versus Lacey Evans. I still am not really used to Lacey Evans as a face. It's just very funny how, when she was heel, she got this big push against Becky Lynch and everything, and teaming up with Baron Corbin at the time and getting these title shots. And now she's getting a title shot and everyone's kind of fine with it because she is pretty much a face. It's kind of weird for her to be a face, especially since she's been built up and pushed as this heel with the nasties and I'm a real Southern woman and everything. And now she's a mom who was in the military and she likes everyone and she blows kisses to people and wants to shake hands and hold the babies. So it's still kind of weird. And then on the other side, when Bayley, killed those wacky, wavy, I forgot how it's said on, I think it's Family Guy that has it. It's either Family Guy or American Dad with the wacky, wavy whatevers. Once she killed those, everyone was so excited that she was turning heel. It was like, yes, then she cut her hair. And then Sasha Banks was back and Sasha Banks was heel. And it felt like we was going to get, the NXT heel Sasha Banks and the newly heel Bayley. It felt like we were getting the heel John Cena, basically, because no one would have really thought that they would turn Bayley heel because she's such, the hugger and all that stuff. And I really thought that Bayley and Sasha Banks would really be this great heelish tag team that we've been needing and kind of waiting for all this time. And now they've been pretty much jokes. I mean, Bayley, she got the "can I speak to your manager" haircut, but she's like a scared champion still. And then Sasha Banks has been losing. She doesn't really want to fight. She wants to go do her album that I found out she's actually doing. She's actually doing a rap album. And I'm like, okay, so you guys are pretty much been made jokes of that we shouldn't really be taken seriously. So I'm actually going to go with Lacey Evans here. I have Lacey Evans to win the title. The only way she would lose, like with all these other matches, is with someone interfering. It could be Sasha Banks interfering. But it's just very weird that they gave her this like big face turn and did all this stuff for her to, and the whole Sasha Banks and Bayley talking about her daughter and everything just for her to kind of lose it on a big pay-per-view. So I have Lacey Evans winning this match. Next up, we have the Raw Women's Championship. We have Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Now, I would love, and I'm sorry to all my Becky Lynch fans out there, I'm probably going to get mobbed with some angry letters or something, but I would love for Asuka to win this title. I would love it. She deserves it. She won the Royal Rumble last year. She was the SmackDown Women's Champion, but she hasn't been the Raw Women's Champion. And I would love to see the return of Asuka, the NXT Asuka that straight up dominated and kicked everyone's ass. And I would love to see evil Asuka, because I've been noticing that green stuff that's coming out of her eyes and out of her mouth is getting longer and longer and longer. So I'm hoping that the transformation is complete. And I really sound like Emperor Palpatine right now. But I'm hoping that the transformation will be complete and we get like true evil Asuka. I love it when she speaks her native language to Becky Lynch. But I feel like, because I predicted that Becky Lynch is going to lose her title in this year, like early this year. And I see it happening now, but I don't know what the game plan is for this championship come WrestleMania. Now, Asuka could win this title to be setting up a feud to someone else for WrestleMania. And I probably would be upset if Asuka wins the title here just to lose it at WrestleMania. But wow, hopefully there'll be a great 2 months with her just kicking everyone's ass in that meantime. And then when she loses, I'll complain about it. But I have a feeling that Becky is going to retain. I do hope I'm wrong, because I would love for Asuka to win this. And I will celebrate. You can follow me on Twitter at Jaydee Talks. If Asuka wins this championship, I am going to celebrate so hard for Asuka, because that is my girl. After that, well, not after that. I don't know how these matches are going to match up, but what I have written down after that is the Universal Championship, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. Now, like I said with Becky Lynch, I have The Fiend eventually losing his title, and like I said that between Becky Lynch and The Fiend losing their titles, one of those losses is going to piss a lot of people off. When The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, won the championship, I felt as though that WWE painted themselves into a corner because not only did they put the title on Bray Wyatt a little too quickly, they're going to eventually have to take the title off of him, and they have to figure out who is tough enough to take out Bray Wyatt. And here comes Daniel Bryan with the nice haircut, no goat beard. He's back with the yes movement. He looks 10 years younger somehow without all this hair on his face. And this is going to be a strap match, so there won't be any hiding or anything like that. I'm very sure that The Fiend is still going to no-sell a lot of moves, and Daniel Bryan is going to use the power of the yes movement and his underdog skills to try to overcome Bray Wyatt. Now, like I said, I don't know what the game is, the plan is as far as the WWE Championship, but I have a bit of a theory, and because of that, I have Daniel Bryan winning this match. I don't know how. Don't ask me how he's going to win this match, but I have a feeling that they're going to give the title to Daniel Bryan, and I feel like, unfortunately, Daniel Bryan is going to be the transition champion because I feel like they're going to do a switcheroo. As always, as we know, about 2 weeks after WrestleMania, there's going to be a superstar shakeup. They do it every year. I'm very sure they're going to do it again this year. Since Raw and SmackDown are very separate, there is no wild card. There's no jumping from brand to brand. So I feel like they're going to do a shakeup just so that they can do some type of changes. I'm very sure that Fox kind of regrets having Brock Lesnar on their team because he barely shows up. No, Brock Lesnar's on Raw, what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure... Let me change that. Ignore what I just said. I'm pretty sure Fox wants Brock Lesnar to be on their show to bring in more money. It's very possible we could be having the return of Ronda Rousey. Maybe she'll go after the SmackDown Championship. I highly doubt it. She may go after the Raw's Women's Championship. And they may switch the titles like they did with the Universal title and WWE Championship. But I highly doubt that they're going to keep the title on The Fiend, because where's The Fiend going to go? Like, who is his match going to be with at WrestleMania? Now, it's very possible, and this is my other theory too, that this match between The Fiend and Daniel Bryan will end in some type of disqualification or something like that. Just something crazy where there is no winner. So this match could get pushed further for WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is about 2 months off, so I don't know how they're going to try to work this so that this match can occur 2 months later. But we've seen this happen plenty of times. Whenever they paint themselves into a corner and they really don't know who will win, they kind of do like a no contest type of thing. So I'm actually going to switch it. And I'm going to say initially that there is a no contest, but if I have to definitely choose a winner, I'm going to say Daniel Bryan, who's going to be a transition winner. I feel like they have to get the title off of Bray Wyatt somehow, and Daniel Bryan is basically a perfect candidate. If it's not Daniel Bryan, then it's Brock Lesnar. Like, those two people would be the perfect candidate to take the title off of someone like The Fiend. Daniel Bryan, because everyone loves Daniel Bryan, and the underdog, that he is, and the fact that, everyone likes him, it's the yes move and everything. If he wins the title off of Bray Wyatt, the majority of people will be fine with that. Of course, there's going to be people who's going to be upset about it because of how dominant The Fiend has been. The fact that he no-sells moves, the fact that he went up against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor and everything, and that he kind of like mulled over everyone except for Daniel Bryan. I completely understand that. And then Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar don't give a fuck. I mean, he took the title off of Kofi Kingston in 7 seconds and kept it moving and smiling and would do the dance party and everything. So it's either Daniel Bryan or Brock Lesnar that's going to take this title off of The Fiend. And I'm going to say it's going to be Daniel Bryan. And I feel like he's going to be a transitional champion. So after that, we have the Women's Royal Rumble match. Confirmed entrance so far: Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Natalya, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, Carmella, and Dana Brooke. Of course, there's going to be a lot of surprises. I'm sure Trish Stratus may come back. Lita may come back. A lot of NXT women are going to be in there. We may see Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, of course, we're going to see on here. A lot of people are predicting that Shayna Baszler may win may win the Royal Rumble. I kind of have that theory too, especially if Becky retains her title, that Shayna Baszler will win the Women's Royal Rumble, and then we'll get the Royal Rumble match between Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch. But we may get a repeat of last year. We may get Ronda Rousey coming back, because it's been teased plenty of times that Ronda Rousey may be returning back to WWE. And if she does, it's going to be her versus Becky Lynch again. Now, I don't know what their plan is going to be if Ronda Rousey comes back. If they're going to put the title on her for WrestleMania and have her defeat Becky Lynch and kind of, quote unquote, take back her loss, I guess they would try to put it as. But I say I have to see who's going to be in it. It's really tough to say who is definitely going to win, because you never know who these surprises was going to be. But I'm going to say it's one of the 4 horsewomen women are going to win this. So it's going to be either Shayna or Ronda, whoever appears in the Royal Rumble. Then lastly, we have the men's Royal Rumble match. And we actually got, I believe it's 25 people, 22 or 25 people that actually confirmed. So Brock Lesnar, who's going to be entering at number 1, Roman Reigns, King Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Elias, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Otis, Tucker, Rusev, Bobby Lashley, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, Big E, The Miz, and John Morrison. I think that's 26 names, actually. Not a lot of spaces for surprises. I'm going to guess that the 4 other spots are going to go to NXT people. So it's not going to be as exciting that, Royal Rumble normally is. More likely the women's Royal Rumble, as far as like the surprises, is going to be a lot more interesting than the men's. It's kind of disappointing. I don't like it when everyone gets confirmed. They could have kept it at Brock Lesnar and like maybe 10 other people tops. That way everyone else could be a surprise. Now we're just looking to see, well, when does Big E come out? When does The Miz come out? When does Rey Mysterio come out? When does AJ Styles come out? It's not really a lot of room for people to make surprises or, NXT people and stuff like that. Yeah, I had to recount in my head, and it actually is 26 people. And it's going to be 4 spots, so I'm going to guess maybe one of Undisputed Era people, probably maybe Street Profits or something. I'm sure the Street Profits may pop up on the pre-show or something like that if they haven't announced it already. But it's just disappointing that all these people are confirmed. I'd rather half of this squad not have been confirmed and just let them be surprises. Like seeing John Morrison come out, I mean, we can probably guess that he would be in the Royal Rumble, but just having him just kind of come out. I feel like John Morrison should have been a surprise entrant for the Royal Rumble, period. I get that they wanted to put him and The Miz together and everything like that, but it really didn't serve him a big purpose. I guess they wanted to put him out there to make sure he would get a good reception, but they could have did this for the Royal Rumble. John Morrison would have been a perfect surprise entrant for the Royal Rumble. And I liked it when, in Royal Rumbles past where they had people come out, the legends come out and everything, and it gives you that bit of a nostalgia feeling. And it feels like we're not going to get that this year because there's only 4 spots left, which is going to go to NXT people anyway. So they're not going to have Santino come out or Booker T and something like that. And I guess it's because it's not to take away the paycheck from all the other people, but I forgot who said it best. It's like with WrestleMania. WrestleMania really shouldn't be as long as it is, and they make it 7 hours long because they're trying to fit everyone on there. And it really should be that it should be the best of the best based on the crowd interaction and something like that. Just like it was before. Getting to WrestleMania, you had to work hard for it. But unfortunately, there were people who should have been on a WrestleMania card and wasn't on a WrestleMania card because of politics or whatever, really. But it's just kind of frustrating to now that everyone's on the WrestleMania card, whether you got a lot of crowd interaction, you're very popular with the crowd, or you're not as popular with the crowd, or you didn't really do shit all year, but you're on the Battle Royale anyway type of thing. And I feel like that's how it should be with the Royal Rumble. You're not guaranteed to win it anyway, but, kind of throw a couple of legends in there, It's not that often we get to see the legends anyway, and it's nice and good to see some of those legends to get that nostalgia feeling, some surprises and stuff. I mean, that's what we're going to get for the Women's Royal Rumble. We're going to get a lot of legends. We're going to get some NXT people, NXT UK people. But here, it's just it's like squeezing, I'm not even going to go through that analogy, but it's too many spots not filled up and not leaving much room for a surprise. I'm very interested on what their deal is as to why Brock Lesnar is in the Royal Rumble. I figure it's because they don't want to put him in a match with someone. But it's very possible, and I highly doubt that the Men's Royal Rumble is going to be first on the card. But I know that Brock Lesnar is going to last for a pretty long time. I have a feeling that Roman Reigns is going to win this. I never gave my prediction. But I have Roman Reigns winning this. I said it a little earlier. I feel like the game plan here, the reason why Brock Lesnar doesn't have a title match like he normally should is because they really want to set up him versus Roman Reigns. And it really wouldn't make any sense for Roman Reigns to kind of start the feud with Brock Lesnar unless Brock Lesnar eliminates him. Now, they could go a different way that Roman Reigns eliminates Brock Lesnar, then Roman Reigns get eliminated, and then someone else wins this Men's Royal Rumble and decide to go against The Fiend at WrestleMania. It could be Seth Rollins who win it. It could be Aleister Black. Who knows? It can go completely left field. But it's safe to assume that whoever wins this Men's Royal Rumble, 9 times out of 10, may go after Brock Lesnar for it. Because they're putting him in the match. So obviously it's going to create some type of feuds between everyone that he eliminates. And there's some pretty big names that's in there. I mean, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. A lot of people have Drew McIntyre winning. And I would like Drew McIntyre to win and for them to put the title on him. I'll be very interested to see Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre, to how that matchup will go. Who remembers when Bobby Lashley first came to the WWE? A lot of people thought that Bobby Lashley would be the one who would take the title off of Brock Lesnar. And now he's in a feud that no one wants to see, and who, the feud that people gouge their eyes out whenever they see it. Or maybe Aleister Black. It'll be a very cool feud between Aleister Black and Bray Wyatt. I would love to see those type of promos and how those two will interact with each other. Or it could be Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. Who remembers that match? I mean, I loved Samoa Joe going against Brock Lesnar. I wish they had a longer feud, because Samoa Joe really brought it to Brock Lesnar as far as, the promos and sitting there telling him, I'm not scared of you type of thing. And you really believed it when Samoa Joe said it. But it's really up in the air of who's going to win this Royal Rumble match. But I'm going to say it would be Roman Reigns. I feel like we're going to get a repeat of 5 years ago. The fact that a lot of people are more receptive to Roman Reigns now, that we're going to get the final shot of WrestleMania being Roman Reigns holding the title up in the air. And the fireworks and everything. That will be the closing shot of WrestleMania. I could be completely wrong. I could be, completely wrong on all my picks, like I was for TLC. I made my predictions for TLC and I was completely wrong. So it could go either way, but I'm hoping for a good pay-per-view event. I know Worlds Collide is going to be good, because NXT is always good with their pay-per-view events. They make sure that they keep their pay-per-view events to only 5 or 6 matches, and they make sure within those 5 and 6 matches you're getting a lot of good wrestling and a lot of good storyline. So I have no doubts that Worlds Collide is going to be good. Royal Rumble could be a toss-up, because it's really a lot of matches that they could possibly add on later on, that they could announce tomorrow on Sunday within like minutes of the show. They didn't even say really what the pre-show would be. It could be the Usos versus the Revival. It could be another tag team turmoil type of matchup between all the tag teams. But you still got the Street Profits out there. You have AOP still out there. The Usos, the Revival, everyone that, that's not really on the card. I'm sure they're going to try to start fitting people in these matches anyway. So that's it for the WrestleBread podcast. Those are my predictions for it. Let me know what your predictions are. I could be completely wrong on these predictions, but we'll see what happens. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Jaydee Talks. That's JAYDEE Talks. And be sure to follow the podcast at WrestleBread. Tweet me your predictions of who you think is going to win the Men's Royal Rumble. And cheers to the start of 2020. Cheers to the start of WrestleMania season. One of the best seasons of WWE. And hopefully it'll be a good one this year. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Check us out at WrestleBread.com and subscribe to WrestleBread on YouTube for more breaking news and JD's opinions.